my name is T and you're watching Let's Take a Look. In this video, we're going to be talking about long division. So let's get straight to it. Long division is a type of division problem. It talks about larger dividend numbers than basic division. In basic division, we used our timetable chart to find out our answer. And our timetable chart only goes to 100. Some of them go to higher numbers, but those are very rare. So long division is a very easy method you can use to find out your 100,000 or even millions dividend problems. Those dividends could be such as 127, 256, 397, and on. For our first example, let's talk about 936 divided by 4. First of all, how do you write a long division problem? This is our division sign. It kind of looks like a check mark too. Our division sign tells us where things are located. In our division sign, our dividend is inside, and our divisor is on the outside. You can see that our divisor is 4 and our dividend is 936. So basically, our dividend is the amount that we have and our divisor is the amount of groups that we're going to divide our dividend into. That was a lot of dividing. Well, let's start with seeing how to solve this problem. Just as a basic introduction though, our answer goes on top of our check mark. And our problem would continue below our dividend. So let's get started. When we're doing a normal addition or subtraction problem, we always go left to right. And that's exactly how we're going to work with the numbers in our dividend in long division. We would go from left to right. That means we're going to work with our 9 first, then our 3, then our 6. So, when we're working with just one number in our equation, we have to partially forget about the other numbers that we have. That way we're not confused about what we're working with and what we have left over. That means we have 9 divided by 4. We're asking ourselves here, how many times can 4 go into 9 without A, exceeding the limit of 9, and B, either hitting it or stay under it? 4 times 1 is 4. That means we've still got a little bit of margin. We've got a margin of 5. We can still go a little higher. 4 times 2 is 8. That means we're a little under 9, but that's probably as high as we can go, since 4 times 3 is 12. So meaning we're working with 4 times 2 here. We would first of all write our 2 on the very top of our division check mark. 4 times 2 is equal to 9. But why does the 2 go on top of the 9? 9 is the number that we're working with in our division problem. That means that our 2 would go on top of our 9. It holds the place of where our answer is going to start. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. That means we're going to subtract 8 from our 9 here. That's the first step we're going to work with. 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. So meaning we're already left with the 2, and we have 2 blank spaces in our answer, and we have 1 over here. Now remember that 36 over here? We're going to bring that down. So 36 brings down. That means we have a new problem here. 136 divided by 4. Now let's try doing the same step we did last time. We worked with our first number and we divided it by this number here, our divisor. But here our divisor is larger than our dividend. That means we can't do it. What would we do here? Well, we would use our 3 as well. And like we forgot about our 36 last time, we're going to partially forget about our 6. Here we have 13 left. So let's work with our 2-digit number. 4 times 1 is 4. That means we can use 4 times 1. Let's try 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. It's still lower than 13, That means we can use 4 times 2 as well. Let's just try 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. That means we've got a number that's almost hitting 13, but it's a little bit lower, meaning it works. Just to make sure, we're going to try 4 times 4 as well. 4 times 4 is 16. That means it exceeds our limit of 13 here. That means 4 times 3 is the largest number we can work with. First of all, we would put our 3 right beside our 2. And 4 times 3 we know is 12. So we would subtract 12 from our 13. Subtracting means taking away our 12. 13 minus 12 leaves us with 1. And like last time, we're going to bring our 6 down. Now we have a new problem. 16 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4 is fairly simple. 4 times 4 gives us 16. That means we're going to be left with a 0. We're going to put our 4 right beside our 3, and we can subtract 16. Now that we're left with 0, we know that we're at the end of our long division problem. And our answer is right here, 234. That means if you're going to write the answer down, 936 divided by 4 gives you 234. Now let me show you something here. We worked with 3 steps during this problem, and our dividend over here has 3 digits. Now normally that is the case of when we're working with long division problems, but sometimes it may vary. Let me show you how it may vary. We're going to solve 2 different questions of long division at the same time. One is going to use only 2 steps, and one can have only 1. Here we have 8 divided by 72, and on the other side, I'm going to have 3 divided by 72. Let's try 8 divided by 72 first. 8 can't go into 7, because 7 is lower than 8. That means anything times 8 would give us only 8. 7 is a smaller number. So we would put in a 0 to hold the spot of our 7. Now we're going to have to work with 8 times what equals to 72. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 8 is 64. And 8 times 9 is 72. That was long. That means 8 times 9 gives us 72. And 72 is the exact number we have over here. So we would put our 9 over here and subtract 72, which gives us 0. Just one step problem here. And even though it's a 2-digit number, it did come in our 8's timetable. So meaning it was just one step. With our 3 though, that might not be the case. 3 can go into 7. 3 times 1 is 3, but maybe we can go a little higher. 3 times 2 can give us 6. That's a higher number, and it's almost still 7. So we can use that. We would put our 2 on top of where the 7 is, and minus 6. In our last problem, we forgot about the 2-digit number 36. In this one, we're going to partially forget about the 2, so we can work with the 7. 7 minus 6 gives us 1. And we would carry forward the 12, the 2 over here to make us till 12. We've already got our one-step problem over here. So we're going to have to do one more step that includes our 12 to get our true answer. 3 times what would give us 12? 3 times 1 we know is 3, and 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. That means we're closer to our number 12. But can we go a little higher? Yes, we can. 3 times 4 gives us exactly 12. That means we've hit the 12 and we might just get our 0. 3 times 4, we would put our 4 on the top of the 2, and we would subtract 12 over here. 12 minus 12 gives us 0, and now we're left with the answer 24. That means one of our equations with a two-digit dividend had only a one-step equation, and here we had a longer equation. That was because our divisor was smaller and our dividend was larger. Now, let's move on to example 3. But example 3 might just be a little harder. If we have our question 315,270 divided by 5. Well, 3 can't come in our 5 timetable because 3 is smaller than 5. So we're going to have to work with 31. 5 times 6 is 30. We can't do 5 times 7 because 5 times 7 is 35. So we're going to subtract 30 from our 31, which leaves us with 1 over here. 5 times 6 gives us 30. So remember to put the 6 on top. But do you see how we have a little mistake over here? I have my 6 on top of my 3. But the 3 is not the number that I worked with. It was 31. That means that when we put in our number, we would go 0, 6. Since 3 can't go into 5, so we would put our 0 in on top of the 3 and 6 on top of the 1 since we're working with the two-digit number. After we've moved down to our 1, we can move down all our numbers beside the 1. 15270 is the number we have left divided by 5. Now again, 5 times 1 we can't do. 1 is lower than 5. That means we can't do it. We would work with 15. Now, 5 times 3 can give us 15. So we would put in our 3 over here and subtract 15, which gives us 0. And that means we're left with our 3-digit number 270. All we have to divide now is 270 divided by 5. All of these numbers come down into 270. Now don't let that 0 confuse you. 5 we can't divide by 2. 2 is smaller than 5. So we would work with 27 over here. 5 times 5 can give us 25. We can't do 5 times 6 since that 5 times 6 is 30. That's higher than 27. So we would subtract 25 over here and put in our 5 on top. But we would put in our 0 over here since we can't work with only the 2. And then our 5. 27 minus 5 is 25 is 2. Now at last, we will bring our 0 down. 5 times what can give us 20 though? 5 times 4 gives us exactly 20. Meaning we would subtract our 20 from over here, put our 4 on top, and this gives us 0. That was a long procedure, but in the end, we did get our answer. Now, when we have a 0 in front of a large number, we know that the 0 in front doesn't mean anything. So meaning our answer would just be 6,354. Now, I want to share a few tips with you guys before we end this video. Some very important tips you could use during long division is first of all to memorize your timetables. Once you've got your timetables memorized, it could be a lot easier to work with your divisor. We have to work a lot with our divisor's timetables to get our answers. The next tip I would share with you guys is to keep organized and write your questions neatly. Sometimes the top of your division sign can get a little messed up with our zeros, so it's really important to know where our zeros could belong and to keep it neatly written. If you're having a little bit of problem with that, you could also use graph paper. It would keep it really neatly organized with the boxes. Another tip is start with the smaller dividends. If you're starting with a 2-digit number and then moving on to 3- and 4-digit numbers, it's going to be a lot easier for you guys to do. And my last tip for you would be, after each of your long division problems, check your answers. You can ask an adult, a supervisor, or even do it on your calculator to double check your problems. Now, thank you so much for watching my video, and remember to like and subscribe.